Hey everybody, it's Helium Lemon 15. Welcome back to Broken Sword Shadow of the Templars. This is March 21st. Today is March 21st, and this is, what is this? This is part 13.
What's the problem? Fumes from car exhaust?
So we're back in the museum. We have more dialogue with Andre, right? Yes. But what is it about? I don't know. What do we have to ask Andre about? Well, nothing at the moment. So we know that Flap and Guido are going to attempt to steal the tripod. So what we have to do is hide in the sarcophagus while the night guard is busy fixing the window. And
it is closing time.
That's how we stay in the museum past closing time. Just like that book that I remember from when I was a kid. The mixed up files of Basil something something. Eh bien, see you tomorrow. That guard has so much disgust in his voice for Lobino. He can't stand the fact that Lobino is smarter than him. So here's the museum after hours. Here come the crooks.
Quit fooling around, you moron. Get your ass over here.
Oh, a curse word.
That flashlight.
That's okay. This game is for a mature audience, and I like that about it. So there's basically only one thing we can do, and that is interact with this totem pole.
What the? Who's there?
Let's get out of here!
I don't know why. Poor George, he gets knocked on the head by this stupid totem pole. Holy crap! Who is this?
And when I woke up, I was at the police station. Luckily,
Some other thief?
I was innocent.
Poor Georges.
What a
Poor George.
I bungled the whole thing.
I don't think so. You made a pretty good job of distracting those two crooks.
Yeah, but the killer got away with the tripod.
No, he didn't. He's not the only one
He's
who
a
can
pretty
dress up
sexy
in
killer,
costume.
sliding down a rope.
You mean it was you who stole the tripod?
Makes sense.
Oh, hell, Nico.
Aw,
I could've been
hell.
shot.
Aw, hell.
Dogs are more likely to shoot their own feet.
Those
I
dorks.
just wish you'd told me your plans. We're supposed to be in this together. But how come you dressed up like a pantomime cat?
Don't sulk, Georgie, please.
Oh,
Georgie. I love the way she says my name.
and don't call me Georgie.
Don't call me
I
Georgie.
really thought you'd be pleased after you set the tripod.
I'd better get back to the quest.
Okay. So, back to the museum one more time. That wasn't even the newest page. I like the chord over and over. Lobby dude.
Hi, Andre.
Lobinose. Lobino it all.
Georgie. Hey, I visited Nicole's apartment.
Yeah, she told me you came by.
Ooh, quite a fine Georgie
Oh
boy.
wow.
I didn't expect anything quite so sexy.
Oh wow.
I hope you're referring to the
I hope you're referring to the
Well,
manuscript.
Of course.
Oh my goodness.
What did you make of the manuscript?
He's got the
It dates
hots.
from the time of
Do,
the
do, do, do,
Crusade.
do.
We guessed that from the Templar seal.
It's a story and pictures like a modern-day comic book.
Tell us
What
more.
story does the manuscript tell?
I don't know. It was probably produced for the tourist market.
Tourists?
Oh, we pilgrims in our thousands on our way to Jerusalem. The tourist trade is
And you
nothing
just
new
call them
now.
tourists,
It's
when
been
you could have
around
called
for
them pilgrims.
centuries. Ever since Joshua made a packet selling souvenir bricks from the walls of
That's a
Jericho.
funny line. That's a great line.
Have you deciphered any of the images on the manuscript?
There's very little I can be sure about. The slang of the bull could be a reference to Mithras.
I couldn't get past
A
the
Persian
bowl.
god, almost as popular as Christ at one time. The only thing I can be sure of is the night. He's Spanish.
How can you tell that?
Almost as popular as Zoroastrianism.
The reference to Ave Maria. No self-respecting knight from Northern Europe would have.
You're right, he ain't no Protestant.
Like that.
He ain't no
Can
Protestant.
you identify the knight's coat of arms?
I already did, Georgie. He's a member of the De Vasconcelos family from the Costa Calida.
Were they
How'd you know
famous?
that?
No, they're not mention that the
How'd you know
deceased
that?
parents-
How do you know about all these
Yes,
family
scholars of
crests?
history moved on. They are probably long dead.
Well, don't say that.
What do you make of this?
It's the biggest gemstone I've ever seen. Where did you get it?
At K's. At
From
K's
Professor
Jewelers.
Pegram's
No, I
messenger
made
boy.
that joke last
Pegram?
time, and this is a lot of
Professor
this.
Nigel Pegram?
A lot of the same dialogue.
Investigating a Templar
Although,
site, isn't he?
He was, until he disappeared.
Did Pegram find this on his dig?
Yeah, the site where this was found was a Templar castle. Do you think it could be part of the Templar treasure?
No, I shouldn't think so.
although I don't remember last time Labino saying Ireland, like Ireland, but in a French accent is Ireland. I don't know. It's just surprising.
Do you know Pegram well?
I also don't remember him
I
saying
met
that
him at the conference.
Pegram's first name was Nigel, so that's a nice
When was
detail.
this?
Oh,
These broken sword games do have quite a lot of detail. That's a weird glitch, but I guess we cannot talk
Thanks
to
for your
him
help, Andre.
about
you're welcome.
the tripod, and it would not be very wise to pull out the thing we stole from the museum in the museum itself. So, we have a little bit more to do at Mount Hassan. Oh, excuse me. I'm a little bit tired. It's almost 7 p.m., but I'm just tired all the time except for when I need to go to sleep, and then I stay up all night.
We?
And then I'm more tired.
How did you learn to be a juggler?
Juggler?
What is this juggler?
It's you. You juggle, that makes you a juggler.
No!
No, I am a jongleur.
A jongler?
That's basically the same word, just in a different language.
A jongleur is an artist.
I also like how his face looks too serious. Like, if you look past the paint, his ponytail makes him look like a very serious dude.
To whom the monarchs turn in their hours of need.
Wait a minute, wait. Let me get this straight. Our enemies are at the borders. Plague ravages the land.
Rolf
and
Saxon is
peasants
such a
revolt.
good voice actor.
Thank God, we've got Chuckles the Jongler to throw his balls around. I don't think so.
He has so much personality.
Doesn't look so difficult.
He has personality in buckets.
Does not. Does it?
Not to discount all the little character actors, but like Rolf Saxon
Try.
knocked this game out of the park. Excuse me. And just imagine all the hours he spent in the recording
So how difficult could
studio.
it be?
Time for us to juggle.
A lot more difficult than I thought.
And-
That's so difficult.
We were terrible at it. We just dropped the balls.
Still, it was my big chance to be derided by complete strangers.
Yay, that's
Not
always
so
good.
easy after all.
At least it's not in our home country.
No, I guess not.
They'll won't
Hi again.
remember us every time they pass us on the street.
What is it this time?
You know what I mean.
What do you know about the Knights Templar?
Whatever. We're not living here permanently.
Their last grandmaster.
Or they're tourists anyways, so it doesn't matter. I don't know, I'm going off on
an
a...
island in the Seine in 1314.
Wow. You're pretty well educated for a juggler.
No, monsieur.
I'm gonna cuddle with this pillow
On that boat
while we
over there.
listen to the dialogue.
Look, a red nose.
Ah, you are a clown.
A clown?
No. If so, you would be a much better jongleur.
For a moment, an idea capered around near the spotlight of my attention.
So this is one of those situations where it's actually a detriment if you know the solution to the puzzle already. Because the game is trying to encourage you to think the puzzle through before actually doing it.
Excuse me, officer.
But the way you have to do it is you have to go over and talk to this guy, which is, it really annoys me because you wouldn't think that he has anything to do with it, because he's just literally sitting there sipping his wine. But he's watching the whole thing, so...
Amusing, and not a humiliation for you.
What do you mean?
Whoever heard of a plainclothes clown?
He had a point. So you're saying that if I juggle badly with a red nose, I'd be the king of comedy. But if I juggle badly without it,
You look like a pathetic loon. Oui, monsieur, you have it.
I'll see you around.
Oui, monsieur. I'll
Those-
be there.
Those eyes just staring into space. The discrepancy between the
Hi
text
again.
saying "I'll be here" and him saying "I'll be there."
What is it this
I
time?
notice little things like that. You
I'd
can't
like to
sneak
have
any
another
little
try at
thing
juggling,
past me.
please.
Usually.
Gone on a crash course, perhaps.
No.
I just had an insight into
presentation.
presentation. I love George so much.
Allow me to demonstrate. The balls, please.
If you insist on...
Okay, so this is stupid.
Humiliation, monsieur.
The animation shows him putting on the nose,
Now for my secret weapon.
and then it's the same animation as before, without the nose. And then there's a stupid, like, ah sound.
Juggler was speechless with rage.
Sounds like a stupid, like,
could have
Wii
mistaken him for a
Sports
mime.
stock sound.
And without a word,
He collected his balls.
and left in a fury.
I'm sorry, I was sick.
Hey,
I'm not sick
Forgot one of
anymore.
your balls.
I'm just
Hey!
sniffling
But he
out of
didn't need it.
habit.
Better still, deprived of his entertainment, the gendarme decided maybe he ought to do some policing for a change.
Wonder what a gendarme is. I wonder if that's some specific rank of police officer. Anyway, we're finally gonna investigate
Talk to the crowd.
this manhole cover,
There was a small crowd of 5 sightseers.
and
It's a weird
this
thing, but
crowd
you
of
can take the most
tourists isn't
intelligent people in the world,
going to give
put them in their vacation
isn't gonna
dress,
give
and
one
make
cow's
them
spit
look like
about it.
morons. Why is that?
Well, they're in plain clothes with cameras around their necks. They do kind of look like morons. Anyway, they're just watching me. They're just watching me take the cover off a manhole and snapping their cameras at me. You know, because that's, you know, they're perfectly happy to be part of a James Bond movie or whatever this is, or whatever this is. Anyway, sewer time. Sewer smashing, as Juz Cook would say.
French isn't much, but the few words I understood seemed to say, "This is where the gallows used to stand." Maybe. The inscription was hard to read.
Isn't gallows
but I
like
made out
scaffold in
Templier and
French?
something
Or
about
no,
innocence.
supplice is scaffold. And I know that from Berlioz.
The wall had flaked, and anything once written on it had long since.
Scaffold is like
The
what we
wall
call
seemed
the
in very poor
guillotine.
condition. The inscription was undecipherable.
Or
The plaster had
it's the
cracked.
platform it's on,
and
I
was
guess.
falling away. I wondered why.
Gallows, I wouldn't know
It
what
was
gallows
time for
is in
some
French,
brutal
but anyway.
destruction.
Yeah, so we
Hey,
just damage
That's hollow. I poked a hole
a historical
into the
wall.
historical site.
Would
If
it be
any
an historical wall?
archaeologists came by, they'd lynch me for this. There was some sort of mechanism hidden
'Cause there are,
inside the wall,
like,
with a lever
fancy
in the middle
people.
of it.
Well-educated
Here
people
goes.
usually use and before
The secret
H.
door had jammed.
Even though H is,
couldn't get
you know,
through that
technically
Inside the hole, I could see one of the
consonant, but
cogs
people will
come
say
loose
like
and jam the
an
mechanism
historical
solid.
thing, you know. Which I guess is more correct. I don't know why, but I guess it's better than saying a historical, like, and stopping in the middle. So George just, once you figure out that you use the chain, George just kind of does the puzzle automatically. And I'm getting ready to be quiet here because this is one of the more important cutscenes in the game coming up right here, possibly the most important. I love this cave, by the way. This is totally how I picture, like, the inside of the mountain in The Hobbit
I could
looking.
hear voices from the lit area. It seemed a good moment to be cautious.
And so we're not gonna... Which is cool because, like,
In the beginning,
Tolkien and, like,
was
what's
the
his name?
end.
Terry Pratchett had a lot of influence on early adventure games. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up.
Darkness. In the end will be a beginning. An end to our enemies. Heralds our new day.
Report. The military establishments are in flux. The end of the Cold War has left them with no clear goal and as obvious targets for budgetary cuts. We have successfully promoted a sense
Budgetary
of betrayal
cuts.
in the upper echelons. They feel that the politicians have cast them adrift. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
What an old walrus.
Mademoiselle?
Governments are giving the corporations
Oh my
more
goodness,
respect
that
than their own
accent.
citizens. A groundswell of dissatisfaction and dissidence is growing. The corporations are becoming too large and complex for their own executives to control them. A blind belief in market forces is accelerating this trend the world over. The pattern is emerging.
This one guy has such a cartoony design, in my opinion.
Global population
His
belief in
forehead is so
governing
huge.
has never been lower.
I know it's supposed to be serious, but this guy looks like he could be in a Pajama Sam game to me.
Planning in all the major governments. They are acting on hasty decisions that cannot be completed or revoked without appearing foolish.
What accent is that supposed to be?
Emerging. Our time is now.
Excellent. The tired old governments are dying a slow death.
And how can these 6 people have such influence on the government?
Professor,
unless they're really well
where
connected.
is the broken
Like, really
sword?
well connected. Because we remember this professor before. This is the Nobel Peace winner.
Of the manuscript, our search is as a corollary hindered.
As a corollary.
And as discussed last time, you have been furnished with a dramatically increased budget. What have you been doing with our money, Professor?
We are working on the principle that the Templars, that is to say our predecessors,
Hold on. These are the Templars?
must have left a trail when they were...
They don't seem very knightly.
sort of the
And they don't seem very Christian.
I have a small army of historians and archaeologists ferreting out that trail.
I trust these historians and archaeologists are more trustworthy than your friend Pegram.
Pegram was loyal. He tried to protect the Lockmart.
We know that face. Unfortunately.
And failed. And don't call that Syrian maniac the Hashashin. He's an assassin. Plain and simple.
That's not what he believes. He actually thinks.
Silence! Do I have to remind you that we have a sacred duty?
Well, they think it's sacred.
A trust. When Philippe attempted to destroy the order, we lost the sword and our
Who's
power
Philip?
with it. Now we have the opportunity to reforge it. But time is short. We need results. Not petty bickering. Not excuses. Now, Professor Baphomet.
Yes, of course. My apologies. We will find Baphomet and the sword, manuscript or no. We have already found another element actually within Paris.
Excellent. What is it?
Well, we're not exactly sure at present.
Ha!
But I have my best people working on it. You would do well not to criticize others, Eklund. At least I have not murdered one of our own.
Of course. That guy was the bogus doctor in the hospital.
Marquet was a liability.
Marquet was a
Eklund
criminal.
dealt with him
Oh,
on
whoops.
my order.
A stupid antivirus thing popped up and I had to close it out.
Have you any good news for us, Professor?
We already know 3 of the elements. We know that Klausner had obtained the lens before he vanished.
Where was he?
Syria. We know that he arrived, but after that, nothing.
The assassin.
I fear so. It's a shame. Klausner was a good operative.
This will be our last meeting in...
Well, time to go to Syria.
Until we locate the sword of Baphomet. I hope that I don't
Anyway.
need to emphasize the importance of finding it. Without
This
it,
totally wasn't
our
creepy at
endeavors
all.
Come to nothing. With the sword reforged, we will have the power to sweep the stage of all opposition. The next time that we meet, It will be to become the princess of this world. Wow.
Evil laugh. That looks really goofy. They all just go away in the boat. All right. Oh yes, I'm a child. Baphomet, bavomit. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in the next time for more Broken Sword Adventures. Goodbye.